Revel Mr. History, brought to you in part by Dixie Gun Works in Union City, Tennessee.
Hey, Miss Rachel.
Rick, what's up?
Before we go any further, let me introduce you to Dr. Rachel Watson, who's the head of our research department. She has her doctorate in geological research and American history studies. Some folks refer to me as a history detective. So I guess if Sherlock Holmes could have his Watson, so can I. Mine just happens to be a whole lot prettier, that's all.
I made contact with Ira Sellers today like you asked, and he said you could come by today if you want.
Yeah, I'm headed down to Tennessee right now. He's got some of those deck guns he wants to show me from World War II. Now, they'll be a perfect fit for my next story, that's for sure.
Oh, are you going to cover the Camp Tyson story that I found?
Oh yeah, it's coming up next. Can't wait to share this one. It's a heck of a story.
Okay, I got to get back to it. I've got a report that I have to turn into the Smithsonian by tomorrow, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Later. Like I told Miss Rachel, our next story is about Camp Tyson, and you're going to love this one.
1, 2, 3. We're gonna drive in every day, and somewhere along the way, there's a road sign with a story from the past. History is everywhere, and I'm gonna take you there. So buckle up tight, we're going there real fast. So take a ride down the history highway. We're headed back to the days of old. So take a ride down the history highway. I got the pedal to the metal and I'm letting this Chevy roll.
Believe it or not, this farmland to my left was part of a 6,100-acre training facility for the United States Army called Camp Tyson. At a cost of $10 million, 25,000 men were trained here to fly barrage balloons. It is also said that German and Italian prisoners of war were kept here. Although it's not much more than a forgotten memory today, Camp Tyson needs to be remembered. Desiring global domination, an alliance between Germany, Italy, and Japan was formed on September 27th of 1940, and they became known as the Axis of Evil. Its leaders were Adolf Hitler of Germany, Benito Mussolini of Italy, and Emperor Hirohito of Japan. After London, England suffers through months of continuous bombing, President Roosevelt grew concerned that coastal cities in the United States would be vulnerable to such attacks if the Axis ever turned its eye toward America. Knowing that barrage balloons are the best defense against the majority of aerial attacks, the U.S. War Department sent out orders in August of 1941 to build a barrage balloon training facility in the farmlands of West Tennessee, near the small town of Paris. With a $10 million budget, and over 800 construction workers, 450 buildings were erected, which included barracks, a 400-bed hospital facility, and a 2,500-seat theater. Covering 2,000 acres of land, construction was completed in just under 7 months. The name of the new complex would come from Brigadier General Lawrence D. Tyson, a heroic Tennessean who fought in the Spanish-American War and during the First World War. By the time the first troops arrive at Camp Tyson in March of 1942, Japan has bombed Pearl Harbor, and America has declared war on the Axis. With an ever-present sense of urgency, Brigadier General John Maynard takes command of the post and sets out to train over 25,000 servicemen in the United States Army. Quickly outgrowing its facility, The complex is expanded to over 6,100 acres in 1943, which would include a prison facility for German and Italian prisoners of war. British instructors who had first-hand knowledge of aerial balloon defenses are brought in to train their American allies. Made of 2-ply cotton and impregnated with rubber, these balloons were 35 feet in diameter and 85 feet in length. Filled with helium or hydrogen, these huge inflatables gained nicknames like Big Bags, Air Whales, and even some were called Sky Elephants. The dirigible and the steel cables that tether it to the ground proved to be a menace. Arranged in a concentric circle, the balloons presented a dangerous obstacle course for the enemy pilots looking to make a name for themselves. Tightly secured, the cables could shear a wing and send a plane spinning helplessly to the ground. Some were even rigged with explosives, which would detonate when the plane got within range. Among the 25,000 soldiers who trained at Camp Tyson was the 320th Battalion, which consisted entirely of African Americans. On June 6 of 1944, the 621-man assault force would be part of the D-Day invasion at Normandy and land at Utah Beach. Not only did their barrage balloons prevent German aircraft from strafing the beach, medical corpsmen of the 320th helped to save lives during the fierce fighting. Supreme Allied Commander General Dwight D. Eisenhower cited the unit by saying, "The 320th carried its mission with courage and determination, and proved an important element in the air defense team." At the close of World War II, Camp Tyson found itself in a strange predicament. With the advent of high-flying bombers and the atomic age, the military base was considered obsolete and would be decommissioned. No longer considered a valuable asset to the United States government, the property would soon be sold to Spinks Clay and Cattle Company, where my Uncle Guy Revel worked as a cowboy. And as the old saying goes, the rest is history.